definitely marked us on the calendar.
Oh, for sure.
It was definitely payback.
Yeah.
Payback from July. When we got on y'all show. We didn't know what to expect. Yeah. I had a great time.
I definitely had a great time.
We representing 2 out of the 3 of the Go Gurl podcast.
You Go Gurl.
You Go Gurl.
You Go Gurl podcast.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Go Gurl. When y'all say it, I think about the Martin. You Go Girl. That's what I mean.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Okay, so all right. Got you.
Nah, that's dope. I appreciate y'all coming up here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, for sure. We're going to have some fun, though.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
well, it depends what you want to talk about. How you going to
What y'all going to talk about?
I don't know. We just going to talk because we got lips.
Okay.
But, we all here. Obviously, we have our own platforms of a show or whatever the case may be. I just want to know, how hard has it been for y'all as far as support from your people, from whether it's somebody you're dating, your family or whatever, or has it all around just been support from everybody?
As far as our podcast or just
your podcast.
Okay.
But from individual experiences, I want to know that.
I think for me the experience has been really good. And the feedback has been really awesome.
Okay.
I'm one of those people where I'm just making it. I'll let you guys know about it. I'm not pressure. You gotta watch. You gotta do this.
Okay.
So I think it's really cool and interesting to see how organic it is for some people. When I started working, I'd be like, yeah, I have a podcast. And they'd be like, what? What's it called? And then I'd be like, oh, it's just gonna be one of those things where I'll just say it and then they'll never listen to it. But then somebody from my job actually started listening to it. They started quoting it from it, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch what I say. I work with people, and yeah, it's really cool. I really love it, and I really think it's really therapeutic every time we go in, because it's when I'm having a bad day, we have that mental check-in, and we're just able to get it all off our chest, and then even just kind of dictate how much time has progressed and how much different we are from when we first started to where we are now.
Okay, that's dope. Nah, I definitely, just our little guest spot that we did, that was therapeutic for me. I love the mental health check-in that y'all do. That's really dope. So how about for you, Anthony?
I think the support has been good. But you have people that say, yeah, I'm gonna listen to it, and it's are you listening to it? You know what I mean? Are you really supporting? Mm-hmm. But that's cool. To me, I love doing the podcast. It's therapeutic to me because I like to talk my shit. I call myself AKA Wendy Williams. It's Star from Star and Buck Wild. But out of the 3 of us, I'm the one that's very vocal, very I curse a lot.
So now go ahead.
But I express myself. That's how I express myself.
Okay. So now my question for you is, since you're that one, how much backfire you got? Have anybody ever came at you? Maybe you said an experience and somebody heard it?
One of my friends told me, Amber, you curse so much. Hey, shit. Yeah, I don't care. It is what it is.
Fuck them.
Right. But sometimes, I am that person that will talk I'm very pro-black, so I know sometimes I have some, friends that are white. But they rock with it though. So I don't want to offend anyone, but that's just how I feel.
You're so pro-black though, so it don't even matter.
So let me ask you this: how building your platform and how did all this come to life? What's the relationship and the dynamics for you girls to say, you know what, we're gonna do this together and get it in? Because I know chemistry is important. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think when you have that great chemistry, you could just feed off each other. And like I said, when you guys invited me to your show, I was just watching the chemistry of it, and it flows so nicely. Mm-hmm. And for me to just be able to respond from the questions or just the topics in general was just so dope. And I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys actually put this together, and it felt like it was just so genuine and so natural. So when you guys decide to be friends and say, you know what, let's do this, like, how did that actually come up? Because, you know, Devon and I, we have a story of why we decided to do what we do, because, you know, we family and we just talk shit. You know what I mean?
We're not doing it for the camera.
We're not doing it for the camera. We just talk shit.
Right.
But I mean, like, what was the theory and what's the reason why the podcast is where it's at now?
Okay. I was trying to come up with well, first of all, I had a podcast with Mike's boyfriend and two of his other friends. We was called the Dope Ass Podcast, and it was really good.
No, it was.
You know, I was the only female on the show because I love hip hop music and pop culture, so that kind of blended well. And and Yaba was the video director for our podcast, so she would always do our show. And I'm like, all right, I need a girl, like, chime in. So me and we became cool from there. And then I met Kiara, the other girl that's on our show. I met her through Mike's boyfriend because her boyfriend raps as well. Mike's boyfriend is a rapper. So we met with each other. I think she did an episode with us before. No, just one time. And then from there, me and her, we just connected and just keep it in contact and stuff like that. And then once the podcast was done, the Dope Ass Podcast was done, I was like, you know what? I still want to do a podcast because my degree is in communication. So, and I was in the fashion world too, but I'm just like, I left that alone. But I'm like, I really want to focus on podcasts. And in my head, I'm like, I want to do a women's podcast, empowering us all, like mental health and all that stuff. And Kiara was actually working on her podcast, but she had stopped. And I had reached out to her and said, hey, maybe we should do something together. She was like, yeah, maybe we should. And then we had talked about it. And I said, you know what? I think, you know who else would be a good fit? Yaba. She does the video directing. I think that would be good. I think it might work. So then we all came together, right? And then we just came up with ideas. I think I came up with the name You Go Gurl.
Yeah.
And I wanted that name because sometimes us females, we feel, you know, we get down, we get depressed, you know, especially with social media, you know, beating you up, you know, from the black man. And it's not all black men, you know, from just men in general.
Thank you for putting that out there. Lonnie Love.
Yes. But just social media, sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, or you having a bad day, and you just be like, you know what, you go, girl, you got this.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna be all right. Like, and you have your friends and encouraging you. So that's kind of how like we
Guys
thought
together.
about it.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice. I mean, and how many seasons y'all got into now? Like,
Is it?
We're just about to
season
finish
1, right?
season 1.
Yeah.
So like we're 2 episodes away from.
Nice.
Yeah. We're like 15 episodes will be the complete of season 1.
I know, it's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Growth, you know.
Yeah.
Do you find it challenging to do every try to top? I mean, it's, we all can say, you know, after that, oh, that was a great episode. I think that was my best one. And then next thing you know, you guys just, you know, you push the envelope for the next episode, and then next thing, oh my God, that's the best one. Like, does any particular episode that stand out the most, that, you know what, I delivered a message that well, and I hope it gravitate and reach my listeners?
That's a good question. We probably
I know.
should. We probably should think about it in terms of like that. But for us, I mean, for me particularly, I think of it as in like, how do I feel with each episode? Like, I feel like each episode is unique on its own, and because we do have like our mental health check-ins each time, we are sending a message, and so like each episode is different from the last. So we're not necessarily trying to challenge ourselves by upping ourselves, but we're necessarily trying to like deliver like a feeling of that week or a feeling of that month.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how we approach it. We definitely, after this season, we had like our meeting and powwow and like listened to past episodes and was like, oh yeah, we talked about this, we talked about that, well, next season let's talk about this, or let's bring in that person, let's try and like up our game in that in that aspect, but not necessarily on an episode by episode basis.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's what's up. But now I kind of want to get into, because I've had experiences myself with just having the platform and just being social and in the dating world and whatever case may be, and how it's affected me. And I know you're engaged, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna give a whole different perspective. but I still want to know it though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm gonna start over here since you're single.
Girl?
Yeah, you're single and you're on a date.
Hey.
But even dating back, because you said you did a podcast with your ex, so I want to know, how did that affect just your relationship? Did it affect it at all? Or I mean, you don't have to go into detail. You don't want to go into detail, but no, fuck that. You go into detail. But yeah, I want to know how.
That's a good question.
If
There was some episodes where I was upset with him.
Interesting.
And you can see in my face.
Yeah.
Because I'll just look at him like,
Yeah.
That's why it's hard to really
you
do
know,
something to a girl.
but then again, sometimes we'll end the episode and be like, oh, I love you, like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I'm like, get on, because I will always say when I start, I'm like, I don't like you.
Okay.
When we do the show. So we won't sit next to each other.
Okay.
Well, like, he'll sit over here, I'll sit over here.
Not
So I'm
all
like,
the time. Sometimes you guys are next to each other, and
yeah,
you
when
see
I
the
was
side
on
out like
Gubby side.
like this.
But sometimes it's a challenge, you know, because we were friends before we did the podcast. And then when we actually started the podcast, that's when we started dating.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
we got very close when we was doing the podcast, because how that came about, I knew him from where we used to live, where I used to live. And I knew he was an artist. And I met him through one of my closest friends. That was her brother's friend.
Okay.
So I met him through like a cookout, whatever, and he was rapping. I was like, oh,
Okay.
great. So we just always kept in contact. And he knew that I was interested in music, and I knew about lyrics and all that stuff. And he's like, hey, I'm doing a podcast. I need a girl. I thought of you. I was like, oh, word? Because I wanted to do a podcast myself. So we just started thinking of ideas, and then it just came from that, and then eventually we started dating each other when we were doing the podcast.
Okay.
But it could be challenging because I wanted to kill him.
So, but y'all never really like discussed it beforehand. Like, look, what we say on the podcast is for the podcast. It's entertaining for the people. Because it seemed like you would take some of his responses serious.
Sometimes, because I just be like, are you serious?
Yeah,
like, where is this coming from? Like, what?
Okay.
You know, but, because you're not always going to agree with your mate.
Yeah,
Of course not.
You know, you're always going to disagree. So, it'll just be certain shit, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Like, oh, that's your views on that? So, it could be a challenge at times. But, I mean, we got through it, but there's some episodes that we had, I think that you filmed in.
Yeah.
You can see my face.
In your face.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, huh? Like, what are you talking about?
Man, that's so tough to do that. I commend them for even being able to do a show with this girl.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
And we'll act like we're not together.
Yeah.
On the show, you know.
Yeah.
We want to keep it professional, so.
Nah, yeah, that's definitely dope. All right, so Yaba. So have it ever went back home? Like maybe your man heard the episode, was like, what? I've never done that before.
I don't think so, because I'm a very direct person.
Oh.
I think in like our episode, that was like the main gist of what I was saying. I'm just very direct. So anything I say on the podcast, I've already said to him, or like we've already had that argument.
Okay.
Because he's more or less, this might get me in trouble, but he's heard it before.
Let's go.
He's more or less like, whenever we have an argument or whenever I'm like upset, I'm the person to be like, I'm upset because you did this, this, and this. And then he'll be like, okay. And then we'll just sit there and take it. And I'm like, this isn't fun. If you're not energy.
Arguing at a wall.
Yeah, and so it's frustrating. But then when he gets angry, he doesn't say anything. So I don't know he's angry until he just stops talking to me. And I'm like,
that's a scary part.
That's annoying. But like, I don't know, anything that I say on the podcast or on a podcast, he's already heard it before. So, yeah, we haven't come to that problem yet. So.
Well, that is our challenge for today's episode.
Oh, God.
Nah, okay. So it hasn't really affected. So now I have to bring it back to you. where it's like dating now? Do you let people know that you have a podcast, or do you just like, oh yeah, I do things outside of work, I'm chilling?
Interesting.
If I like you, then I'll say I have a podcast.
Okay.
Like, if I'm really feeling you, but if we're just like starting out, I'm gonna at least tell you.
So what if they?
Podcast.
Okay. So what if they hit you up?
Unless you look at my page and you see that I have a podcast.
Yeah.
But I won't just
Because niggas got Snoop. So.
Yeah, weirdos. There's some weirdos out there too. Yeah, but.
So does that make it cool for girls to do it? Is that what you're saying?
What?
They can snoop and they're not weird? If girls snoop,
I mean, if you're not a weirdo, like, it was a guy that I didn't even know, and he got in my DM, he's like, oh, you're gonna be my wife, like, and sent me a picture.
Oh, that's different.
A picture of me from a year ago on his screen.
Nah, that's different. I'm talking about people that you're already dating. No. That's weird.
I'm just
that is weird.
Wow.
That is weird.
Hold on, so did you reply? Did you block?
Yeah,
I just said, you're crazy. Like, and I blocked
Thank
him.
you, but
He's like, I've been watching you for a long time.
What?
Like, I didn't even know he was my friend on Instagram.
that's
why my page is private.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, and had my whole picture on his phone as a screensaver.
So I mean, was it flattering a little?
No, that's scary.
Not at all.
No.
I mean, he came off you creepy, but someone say, yo, all right, let's just say, let's say if it was a younger woman, that's basically trying to pay their way into, media. I'm like, listen to your podcast, like, you're one of my favorite ones out of the show, out of the castmates. I had to get a screen shaver, like, can I get a selfie, like,
that's fine.
That's
I mean,
that's a fan, but he was a fan, but he was a fan, but he was a creep.
That's creepy.
He's a fan.
Like, I don't even know you. I can understand if you started talking to me, like, all right, you have my picture on your phone already? Like, that's nuts.
She said already, I mean, it took some time, then you put it up there. That's basically what she
No, that's nuts. That's crazy.
That is a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, exactly.
That is different.
That's weird as fuck.
No, because I've had situations where I've met women while doing this show, and they're going on my Instagram doing their snooping, and they're like
Research.
Yeah.
They're
snooping, doing that snooping. Like I said, weird shit.
It's how you do PR. She's doing research.
You're right. To see if you're crazy or you
But
let me look at it.
Yeah.
They'll do that snooping, and it's like they'll see my trailers and see some of the things, and they're like, oh, so that's how you really think? I'm like, yeah, and this is me. You getting all of me. This is what you wanted to find. And sometimes I've had girls be like, no, I'm cool. I don't want to end up on your show. And I'm like, well, if you act right, you won't have to be on the show. Like, you know what I'm saying?
If you act right, you don't have to be on the show.
No, but seriously, no. I'm not even going to go there on that. I'm gonna take a little pause. All right, we're back in. All right.
Okay.
No, but it's so funny because a lot of people would like ask me like, so is that why that's why you out here just dating for more content? I'm like,
dating really?
Yeah,
dating for content.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I was like, to be honest with you, a lot of stuff that I've said on the show, I haven't even got past the age of 25 experiences.
Yeah.
Like, wait till I get in my 30-year-old bag. Like, those episodes haven't even came up. I'm still talking about old shit when I was
old stuff, right.
And so it's like, that's just whack.
So you just misunderstood. That's all.
Yeah.
But as and for you to defend it, and I think it's our responsibility to defend our work.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because people may take things differently, but like I said, we can't take something. People take things literally off of a split second of a trailer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that sometimes because it's like, oh, I saw the show. Like one of our past episodes, the title was not get married. You should get married at the age of 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We titled that because
that's shock value.
It was shock value.
It gives people attention.
Absolutely. And then it was like, you read it like, well, you didn't see why we let up to that. I can't stand that. Who the hell want to get married at the age of 50? I'm trying to be all settled with my man. I said, okay, but what if you was married up to 49, now you're 50? You know what I mean? You're single. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why, these are the theories that my guest had. She said what she said.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't you just wait? Take the time and look at the information before starting jumping down my throat.
Right.
Or start trying to bash my
Not
guts.
to cut you up, but sometimes people don't think like us, like that's in the media world. Like they just be like, oh, what? What is that? What do you mean by that? You know, so like they coming from that side. So for us, it's like, oh, this is shock value. Like, oh, this is going to get likes and views. And to them, it's like, what? 50? You know?
Yeah.
So you know, people,
it's off of like a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily off of like, oh yeah, let me sit down and calmly gather all that information and then deduct my own conclusion. It's like, what? I don't like what he said.
Right.
I'm about to go up, and it's like, you didn't even
But see,
hear
now,
any of
now that you said, you was talking about, you know, with us dealing with media and being creatives or whatever the case may be, like, do you find it harder to date what I like to call normies?
Normies.
Just regular people that's not art, like in arts. They got regular job. I call them normies.
Oh, please. They still the same, so.
But I'm saying, like, as far as dating them and dealing with them, like, your experience, do you find it easier to deal with them than to deal with another creative that might be like, oh, you should have did it like this, should have did it like that, da 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 da. You know
Okay, well, I'll give an
it.
example. When I worked with my ex-boyfriend, you know, we have, you know, our creative moments where we did, like, come together and be like, hey, what do you think about this topic? Or, you know, I was like his number one supporter, like, as a rapper, you know, I would be doing it, you know, supporting him, you know, so we would come up with different ideas and stuff. I think that's, like, the best part of dating a creative.
100%.
Like, we could just kind of flow with each other, like, oh, what do you think about this? Oh, no, I think you should do it this way. Like, he actually helped me with, like, my voice, like, you know, he's like, hey, why don't you talk like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's certain things that I did learn.
That's why you toned down?
What?
That's why you toned down now?
What do you mean? Right? What are you
throwing out daggers already?
Right?
She's not even wearing any armory.
Right? At all. Like, at all. But when I date somebody that's not a creative, I mean, you know, it's kind of... It really depends on the person. Yeah. Like, it really depends.
I feel like there's, like, a different, like, language. Like, that you have with another artist because you're both on the same wave pattern. But with someone who's not, it's like you always have to kind of explain, oh, I feel like this because, you know, this is what we do. It's like, why do you do it like that? It's like, oh, I gotta explain every part of, like, what I'm doing versus, like, someone who just gets it.
I think it's more of, like, when it comes to my dressing, though. For me.
Oh, okay.
They'll be like, I don't kind of get it. And it's just like, it's not for you to get. Like,
that's another thing too. Like, that's another thing too. Like having a show and then being like a fashionable person, you have to explain both things to just a regular person that's not even into none of that stuff. That can get annoying and draining. But that's why sometimes you might get lucky and find somebody that's just, I'm just so interested in you. Like, I know a girl that told me that she just enjoyed dating creatives because that's not her world. So it's kind of an entertaining factor for her in a sense. So, like, that was actually kind of cool because it's like she wants to learn more about my world instead of like, oh, well, you know, maybe you do this way and do it that way. Like, why are you doing it this way? Why are you doing it that way? You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly, from dating experiences, when I dated creatives, they did more supporting than just trying to like, oh, you should tweak this, you should tweak that, I got more of that from people that just only watch videos. They be on YouTube or watching shows or whatever. They're like, well, I'm the consumer, but you don't sit up 5 hours editing your work. You know what I'm saying? But I'm dating other creators, they know the process of going through it, so they know how they're gonna like, I'm just gonna support, I'm gonna sit right here and let you do your thing. You know how you say when you came in, you was like, I'm let them do their thing or whatever. You know what I mean? It could have been easy to say, well, maybe you should try this. And I'll be like, well, when's the last time you behind the camera? Oh, I've never touched the camera. Exactly, so sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of those things where it's like an unspoken rule. Like, you don't really want to I shouldn't really talk. Because I'm very critical of myself, and I'm critical of someone when they ask me my opinion on something. I give them the honest truth, like, hey, maybe you should have done that, maybe you should have done that. But I don't do it unsolicitedly. You have to ask for it, and then I give it to you.
Exactly.
And it depends on the person, because not everybody can take it. So it's like, you want the truth, or you want to hear what others hear.
That's not the best line ever, Erica Badu. Keep in mind I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive
about
my shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, me being new to this, you know, I'm
welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I think, and it's exciting. You know, like I said, I mean, my sister, shout out to my sister April. she does production. Like, so I've always been around behind the scenes watching her do shows. Like, she does, like, the Comedy Central, the Dave Chappelle's, the Apollo. Like, when I was younger, 18, I used to just be at the Apollo and see her at her best. You know what I'm saying? So I always been around, always had a feel for it, but just didn't look at it in hindsight like, you know what? We could put something together and get some friends together and then talk what we usually talk about. So that's fun for me to be a part of it. So when I pique people interest and tell people and I have conversations like, yo, what do you do? That's the first thing I thought, I got a YouTube show. They're like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get that? Just press play and record.
Right.
But see how easily you put that out there is because this is new to you. Or now Amber was like, if she liked you, she'll tell. Because I'm kind of the same way, but at the same time, I will only bring it up normally because somebody might hit me up, like, let's say somebody hit me up today or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, I'm filming. Oh, filming what? Oh, I'm about to get in my bag now. Now I went to it like that.
I do the same thing too.
Yeah,
like,
so
they be like, oh, where you at? Oh, I'm doing a podcast. Oh, we're all right. Yeah. So then I'll tell them like, this is what I do.
Exactly, because I went through the time of when everybody was a rapper. I had to go through that. Right. Oh, you rap too, huh? Now, I got a YouTube show. Oh, you're a YouTuber too? Oh my God. I'm like, damn, I can't win, bro. Like, I remember a girl I had met went to my IG and was like, content creator. Oh my God. I was like, if you don't go back in the hair salon and do hair like everybody in the mama, like,
damn.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do something that everybody else is doing too, like just because mine's on the forefront and in front of a camera, don't make it no different. That's my only thing. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So that's why I really wanted to get into that conversation or whatever, because like I've had my experiences where I've been frustrated about something some chick said about. I'm like, yo, I don't know why I'm this mad, but I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. You know, if it's something I've dedicated hours to, and just to give y'all 10 minutes of it, and y'all see 10 minutes, you're like, yeah, it was cool. Cool? Well, 30 years of your life wasn't that cool. But you're there, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, that's So I just think I always found it interesting to get different perspectives from other creators and dating from that perspective or whatever.
It's hard though. It's really hard to date because I think before I met my fiance, it's like I'm in film, so I never dated another film person. Because it's always like, you guys both work long hours, it's really competitive, and so it's like, I never dated another film person. And then when I did get a chance to talk to, we didn't even date or anything, it was just weird. Because it was like, I want you to read this, I want you to do that, and it's like, I'm not working, and then it's just like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's not that great. Why would I care? And they're like, why would you say that? It's my work. Why are you saying you don't care? And I'm like, I'm not saying I don't care. I'm saying, why should other people care? They're not all gonna be gung-ho for your shit. So it's like, it don't work out all the time.
Yeah, right. No, you're right.
That's true. It don't work out all the time. That is so true.
Especially if you date somebody that's like leveled up in your field that you want to be in.
Yeah.
Like I've dated people in video production, and I mean with me having a show or whatever, I never threw it on her like, hey, watch this. If she want to see it, she'll see it, or whatever the case may be. And I mean, we're still cool to this day. And she'll be like, oh, how about you try this and try that? But it never came from a point to where it's like, nah, scratch that and do it like this.
Right.
Because this is what I do. Like, you work with thousands of dollars of equipment.
Yeah.
I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So
not yet, motherfucker.
Yeah, not yet. But you can't come from that. I mean, that angle. And same thing for like. Dealing with people that work in music or whatever. Like when I was, I always tell a story. When I was rapping, I had this chick. She was a publicist, and she had mad connects. It might be different parties, whatever. She was like, I mean, you make me your girl. I know I can get you a deal. I was like, what? I'm about to get a deal for you just making my girl. No, I'm good. I don't want nobody to be responsible like that for my career and stuff like that. Now, granted,
you're indebted.
Exactly. Now,
that's funny that you brought that up because I was so mad at my ex-boyfriend when we had broke up. I was like, take me off your songs. Like now. But of course he take me off.
No.
Because he put me on beginning of his songs. He put my
voice.
I remember that.
It's amazing though. It's amazing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he would start that off, and then do the song.
Yeah.
So once we broke, I'm like, take me off your fucking songs. Of course, no answer. So that petty, right?
You should just get a contract written up and take royalties.
I know. I'm like the second Maybach music girl, right?
Right. That's what you should do. Like, just wait till you.
No, I told him like I need my coin.
Nah, that's interesting. But like with that, why do women always feel like they have to go for the jugular when it's over?
We like to be petty boots. I'm petty boots. Oof. I'm telling you, I'm petty.
You like petty wars?
Huh?
You like petty wars?
Petty wars?
Yeah, like y'all both going back and forth. Being who gonna be the pettiest?
I think I'm the pettiest.
I think petty wars only happen in relationships.
Yeah, only in relationships.
Yeah.
In relationships?
Yeah.
No. I think it happens on in general. If I'm at a store or if I'm driving and someone honks their horn, I'm like,
it don't have to
I'm
be
going
just
real
chill. No, that's true. That's what I'm saying. That's
petty all the time, depending.
Yeah, it just depends. It really depends. Yeah.
I like to be petty all the time. Petty all the time. Petty all the time.
I don't like.
That's about Petty Murphy.
I don't like being petty in a relationship though, because that's draining. Petty in a relationship, it is like, I did this for you. Why didn't you do that for me? Da 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 da. It's like it's exhausting.
That is exhausting.
I hate arguing. That's one thing I do not like doing.
Have y'all ever been in a situation where you've been in a relationship and you want to do something, but you're like, nah, they might hold that against me later on, so I'm not going to do it right now. Have y'all ever felt like that?
Meaning like
okay, let's say you want to let's say your boyfriend said, oh man, I really wish I could go to this concert, but I know I'm not going to be able to have it. I don't get paid till next week, da da da. You're like, let me get these tickets for because I get this for him, then he don't think I do. I mean, just stuff like that.
No, I've done that. What was it? When we first started dating, I got us J. Cole tickets.
Okay.
And he never goes to concerts.
Okay.
Big concerts, like Madison Square Garden concerts. He's very
Did you ever
small.
throw that back in his face?
No, because that was something that I wanted to do.
That's dope.
You know what I
Dope.
mean? So that's the type of person I am. I'm not gonna be like, oh, remember I did this.
I mean, because there's people like that. It's a lot of people like that. That's why.
That's exhausting. I don't do that either. Like if I do something, it's genuinely because I want to do it. I don't need a thank you. I just like to see you not appreciate it like as a thank you, but just to like to see the face.
But the other way around, I'm looking for that as well.
Okay. Mm. So in a way, you are looking for, you kind of doing it to expect something back.
Not to expect something back, but it's just like it would be nice. Like it shouldn't just always be me. Like
it's not
making sure, and it's just like, all right, I understand you're broke, but.
I understand you're broke.
I mean, we all have our struggles, you know, but.
Because it's about that support.
Right. Listen, you want to talk about supporter?
No, that's what I'm saying. When you say how you were supporting around. Yeah, because I was following both of y'all, and I was like, dang, she got the same footage that he got.
Yeah, because I did that. Yeah, I'm the one recording. That's me.
It was really, not even to go deep into it, it was really dope, like, to see the interaction. Or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Mm.
So, like, dating creatives is cool, but it can be tough.
Yes, absolutely.
It was something else I wanted to get into as far as, like, I mean, kind of switching gears, but not really. But as far as, like, with the goal of the podcast, what are y'all trying to do, like, with it, and how, like, do y'all think y'all have the pathway to go about it, or do y'all think y'all still trying to figure out and create the pathway for it, or whatever the case may be? So, like, whatever goal you have, do you think you're on your way to it, or you're like, oh, we're still trying to figure out, like, what's the end goal, or whatever?
No, I think we're definitely making a path for ourselves to get to it. Because I think podcasting it's a lot of competition. And there's a lot of podcasts out there, and a lot of people listen to a lot of things. So I think for us, and even when we had like our meeting a while ago, we did set mile markers for ourselves. We want to get more outreach. So whether that means like
sponsors
or like doing like more on the go podcasting, like getting out of the studio and just going to someone and just interviewing them or just talking with them. Just working on ourselves, like how we're kind of presenting ourselves, like every podcast episode we have like a breakdown of like what we're going to talk about and topics and such. So evolving that further, bring people in to take up care of our social media stuff. So it's like it's evolving. We're figuring it out. It's not a set path for us, but we're definitely.
Have anybody from the outside circle approached you guys of like trying to be a part of the team? You know, like any volunteers or any like people like I said, you said like digital or like PR standpoint, like anybody knows particular marketing or media background that see potential and say, you know what, I like this podcast. How can I be a part of it? What can I do to help you guys raise the bar and weaknesses that you guys trying to void? You know what I mean? They're trying to fill in. Does that happen currently, or do you guys just network and then, you know, people cross path and then, you know, it just go by faith and anything else under the sun?
I think Kiara has some people that is interested in wanting to come on and help us and stuff
Kiara is
like that.
more of our like media guru.
Okay.
So she handles a lot of that heavy lifting of like networking because she knows a lot of people.
Yeah, she knows a lot.
And she brings in a lot of people and like they're amazing.
Because she does PR.
I was just saying I do see. I do follow on Audra.
Huh?
Hey. You know, so
I'm not sleeping. I'm trying to hear how this sounds like visually. So you'll see me like move my mouth or whatever. I'm not sleeping.
I I do follow some of her footage, and I do her see. You know, she's a very sociable person, obviously, like as you all are. You know, and I was kind of curious about that. Like, you know, it seemed like, you know, you guys have different personalities, rightfully so, and you have different strengths of how to bring things to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like Devon and I, we know our strengths and weaknesses to the show. And I think it makes it so unique to blow it up the way we want to blow it up. You know, our goal here on this platform is just to basically bring people more united and put more awareness, just like what you girls do with the health and wellness and the mental health stuff. But also just having fun talking shit.
Be yourself.
That's the
goal. That's the goal.
Yeah, we want everybody like to just be yourself and come up here. That's why y'all didn't know the topics. You know, we want to try to come up here organic, not so I'm saying like this. Because you know, you gotta do that.
They pre-rehearse and premeditate. And it just feels stiff, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, no one premeditate a get together. You know, you may like, I need to check on how that is, but you can't really know the answer or the person won't know the question because you meeting them, you catching up with them. So it's the same feeling that I want to have on this show. And
that's what we
What do you say, kitchen table?
We do kitchen table talk. It's literally like every topic that we have, it's topics that you have.